This is the homework video for Im2, homework number 19. So here we go. These are the key information that you should have, that you should completely understand. Do not just try to memorize them. Please try to understand them, because that's going to help you in the long run rather than just memorizing. So number one, find the sum of interior angles of 11 argon. So how do I do that? Well, the sum of interior angle is given by the equation 180 times n minus 2. It's right here, the equation right there. So it's going to be n is 11 argon, so 11 sided, so n is 11. So instead of n, I'm going to substitute 11. So 11 minus 2 is 9. So 180 multiplied by 9 is 1,620. Number 2, the sum of all exterior angle over 11 argon. Regardless of number of sides, all the exterior angle is going to be adding to 360 degrees. Then find each interior angle measure of the regular 11 argon. So to do that, what you need to do is you divide the sum of all the interior angle, 1,620, divided by 11. Okay, because we have 11 congruent angles that's making up that sum. So that turns out 347.3 degrees. Number 4, find each of the exterior angles. There are 11 exterior angles making up the 360 degrees. So 360 divided by 11 is 32.7 degrees. Alright, so then number 5 is asking you to color the interior angles blue and exterior angles red. The interior angles are inside the polygon. Exterior angles are created by extending one of the sides, and the angle between the neighboring side and the extended side, which is this. Or if you're talking about extending this side, the neighboring side is this. So this is also an exterior angle, as is this one. Number 6, find the value of x below. We know that all the exterior angles, they are all exterior angles, and they add up to 360 degrees. So 3x plus x plus 2x plus 2x plus 4x, they add to 360 degrees. So we are left with 12x, which is equal to 360 degrees. So divide both sides by 12 and you get x is equal to 30. Okay, number 7, 8, 9, 10. A lot of students are having problems with this. Okay, so find the area of n perimeter of each. Number 7, you're given this triangle. Okay, we're given a whole lot of different dimensions, and you need to decipher which is the dimension that is going to be coming into play. To find the area of a triangle is always the base times height divided by 2. That is the equation. If you just multiply base times height, you've just found the area of a rectangle, right? And triangle is always going to be half of that. So it's base times height times divided by 2. Now, which is the base length? Which is the height? Base, remember the base and the height, the two numbers that you are going to be multiplying has to be perpendicular to each other. Okay, so the base here, the 5, and then 2.9. 2.9 is referring to this length here. These two lines are perpendicular to each other, so the one's base and the other is height. So base is 5, height is 2.9. So 5 times 2.9 divided by 2 is 7.25. For the parallelogram, for the perimeter just means the outside length. So that's 5 plus 3 plus 5, which is 13 meters. For this parallelogram, what is the area? Area is base times height. And again, the base, whatever that length is, has to be perpendicular to the height. The two dimensions that you are multiplying needs to be perpendicular. If you cannot sort of picture which side or which dimensions to to use, what you can do is you can turn this in a way that you can figure out which are the numbers that we want to be multiplied. If you turn it this way, then you should be able to see the parallelogram more clearly. This is the base length of the parallelogram. This is the height of the parallelogram. So you are multiplying 9.5 times 4.3, and therefore the area is going to be 40.85. The perimeter is just the outside length. So you're adding 7 and 9.5, and this is going to be 9.5. And what's this length going to be? It's going to be the same length as the opposite side. So that's going to be 7 as well. So it's 9.5 plus 7 plus 9.5 plus 7. So that's 33 yards. Number 9. This is a trapezoid. What is the area given as? Well, it's the average of the two lengths that are parallel. Okay, so remember, trapezoid is related to parallelogram except that the two opposite sides are not equal in length. You have different lengths. So to figure out what is the base length, you need to figure out the average of this. Then you can figure out that area is B1. This is going to be the one of the base length. B2 is the other base length. Divide by 2. So you're taking the average of it, multiplying that by the height. So that becomes 10 plus 4.4 divided by 2. So you're getting the average and then multiplying by the height. Again, the base and the height, the two dimensions you're multiplying to get the area has to be always perpendicular. That's going to be true for any two-dimensional shape. The area is going to be perpendicular. So that gives me area is 43.2 kilometers squared. Perimeter is just the outside length. So you're adding 10 plus 6.4 plus 4.4 plus 6.8 there. And then you should get 27.6. Number 10. This is just a pure rectangle. Okay, so the area is base times height. And notice that these two lengths that you're multiplying is, again, perpendicular. They make 90 degrees. That's going to be true for all of them. That when you're finding the area, they have to be the two measurements that are perpendicular to each other. So that's going to be simply 9 times 8, which is 72 centimeters. Perimeter is just going to be outside length. And even the so that's 8 plus 9 plus 8 plus 9. So that's 34 centimeters. Number 11 is a triangle. And this time, one of the dimensions were missing, so I gave you the dimensions. That missing side above the triangle is 2.3 centimeters, meaning this is 2.3 centimeters. Okay, so when you know this, what is the area, what is the height of a perimeter? To figure out the area, we need to be figuring out which is the base, which is the height that we are going to be multiplying. Base is this, 4 centimeters, and height is 1.7. Again, this side and the height, they make perpendicular 90 degrees angle. So that's going to be 4 times 1.9, which is 3.8. Perimeter is just the outside length of this triangle. That's 5 plus 2.3 plus 4. That's going to be 11.3 centimeters. Then lastly, number 12. Again, this is a parallelogram. Okay, when it's drawn like this, you might not be able to tell. But this is a parallelogram with this side and this side being opposite. And this is 18.9, which means this is also 18.9, even though it's not given. Now, what is the height of this parallelogram? Height is 8 inches and the base is 9 inches. So you're multiplying 9 times 8 to get area of 72 degrees. And also for the perimeter, you're adding all the outside length. Since this is 18.9, the opposite side of a parallelogram is going to have the same measure. So it's going to be 18.9. And that leaves you with a perimeter of 55.8 inches.